Hey guys, what's going on? Blaine back for another Netflix review, and today I'm going to be talking about Little Siberia. Little Siberia is a Finnish dramatic thriller that tells the story of Joel, a pastor living in the rural village of Hermavara. He enjoys living a quiet and peaceful life with his wife Krista when one night a meteorite lands in the area, causing a big ruckus for all the village residents. It's decided that the meteorite will be displayed in the town museum for a time before being sent to London. Joel, who happens to be an army veteran, volunteers to stay on guard duty at the museum until it's time for the meteorite to be sent away. During this time, various residents and criminals attempt to steal the meteorite and sell it for a huge sum of money, all while Joel deals with a sudden pregnancy announcement from his wife, which results in his faith being tested. This is the first ever Netflix original from the country of Finland, and it's certainly an interesting one. Its quirky tone, combined with a variety of intriguing characters and compelling atmosphere, kept me hooked into watching all the way to the end, even if I didn't understand everything that was happening in it. The main character, Joel, is a well-rounded one with several layers to him. His entire journey throughout this movie is a test of his faith surrounding the divine probability of the meteorite and its role in everything that happens surrounding it, and I enjoyed seeing his worldview change over the course of the story. He goes from being sure of himself and the will of God to questioning everything as he becomes weighed down by villagers' personal struggles and his own struggles in protecting the meteorite. His dedication mirrors his army service, so it was interesting to see him balance between his duties as a priest and as a community pillar. His personal life away from the meteorite also gets brought into the spotlight. He's told by his wife Krista that the couple are expecting a baby, which surprises him because he believes that he's infertile. I just enjoyed all the conflicts that he experienced and how they changed him over time. And it also helps that he has a likable personality as one of the few sane characters in the village trying to put up with the madness around him. It's kind of hard to talk about the other characters in this movie, partly because they're really all centered around one thing, which is the meteorite. Joel protects the meteorite, while everyone else seems to want a piece of it for one reason or another. And it's this amount of variety that makes the movie so interesting to watch. Some want to steal the meteorite and sell it for huge sums of money, others want to keep it for themselves as some sort of personal heirloom, and others want it to stay in the museum or to go to London as soon as possible. There's so many variables going on at once in this movie, so there's never a dull moment in its story. And this meteorite really brings out the worst in the characters in this movie. Poor Joel goes through the ringer with all the people he has to chase down and thwart, while dealing with villagers' mundane problems at the church at the same time. It got to a point where it was actually hilarious over how much stuff kept mounting up, and this made it more enjoyable to watch. One of my favorite characters was this guy who always thinks of worst-case scenarios whenever he's with Joel. He pontificates about the most pointless doomsday situations possible, and it drives Joel up the wall while he keeps thinking about the meteorite. There's just so many examples of oddball characters that made the movie more entertaining. However, this strength also tends to be a weakness at times. It's great that there's plenty of characters with unique personalities to enjoy, but it can be excessive to the point that it gets hard to keep track of who's who, and most of the characters don't really have anything important to do anyway outside of whatever's connected to the meteorite. The same can also be said for the story. While not quite as over the top as some of the characters, it does tend to drift back and forth from one angle to another. One moment it's about Joel and Krista's child, then it's about the meteorite, then it's about confession at church, and then the meteorite again, and it just goes on and on and on. I wouldn't mind so many things and characters happening if it weren't for the fact that the movie feels oddly slow in pacing. Some scenes just drag on longer than they need to, which hurts the central narrative about Joel protecting the meteorite. It's nice to have some fun diversions, but there is a point where, like the characters, it becomes a bit much. That being said, I admire how this movie pulled off its atmosphere. It is without a doubt one of the strangest movies I have ever seen, and I mean that in the most complimentary way possible. There's so many little things that go into portraying its offbeat nature, and yet they still succeed in telling a dramatic story on top of it. It conveys a true-to-life small-town vibe with a number of eccentric characters inhabiting Hermavara. Things like the mayor declaring a meteorite drawing contest, or police officers practicing breathing exercises in the middle of their job, while ridiculous in concept, all feel oddly authentic in their execution. The beautiful cinematography and scenery also adds an element of isolation to the community, almost as if this kind of strangeness can't be found anywhere else. And the music? My God, I just love how weird it is. I've seen a lot of movies, and this is one instance where I have a hard time putting into words just how good it is at being weird. While I am a big fan of this movie's weirdness, I will admit that it's not for everyone. It's one of those movies where you have to be in the right frame of mind to watch it, and even then you probably still won't be ready for how off-kilter everyone and everything is in it. Just as there are a variety of characters and subplots going on, the movie somehow succeeds in balancing multiple genres at once. Everything from the dark humor of someone joking about having live grenades in a museum, to Joel's inner turmoil over whether or not he'll be a father, to the tense thriller surrounding the meteorite conspiracy, it all just works. And for as much as I may complain about the movie being slow, there are times when this also works. Once something significant happens, the movie is usually good to stay quiet for a minute without having any dialogue interrupt the tone of the scene. I love it when filmmakers respect their audiences and allow them time to soak in key events instead of directly explaining them. And here it's done well. I also enjoyed how this movie explored its central theme of miracles and the irony of people losing hope in the midst of something incredible and almost divine happening to them. Joel is a great anchor to guide the audience along this journey, and it gives some food for thought that will keep people thinking about it long after this movie finishes. Overall, Little Siberia is an intriguing dramatic thriller that is certainly a strange watch, but is earnest in its attempt to entertain and compel audiences. If you like weird movies that don't necessarily have a genre label attached to them and want to experience something truly out there and offbeat, you'd enjoy checking this out. I'm still not sure if I understood everything I watched in this movie, and that does bog it down a bit, but in the end, I had a lot of fun just being entertained and mesmerized by everything it had to offer. It's hard not to admire how such a little movie can be so big in ambition, and I'm excited to see more Finnish cinema on Netflix in the future. What did you think about this movie? Were you also fascinated by its weird atmosphere, or were you put off by it instead? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways guys, that's going to wrap up my review of Little Siberia. Thanks for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it, and as always stay tuned for the next part, where next time I review the Korean crime drama, Revelations. Bye bye!